from the gateway to bourbon country and live from Bourbon and Beyond 2023. Welcome to the Firkin Podcast, where every drink tells a story.
Now, we have some stories to tell today. So, we're just going to get right to it. I'm going to bring out my friends. First off, I hope he's paying attention, Mr. Ian Somerhalder.
There you are. Come on in, Ian. Have a seat. Yeah, whichever one.
What's going on, my man?
There you go.
How are you, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Good to see you.
Hello,
All right.
Bourbon and Beyond.
But we have... Hey, Ian, I got an empty chair. We need to bring out Mr. Paul Wesley.
Yeah. Woo! Paul, welcome to the show.
Paul, my man. What's going on, buddy?
I thought you were going to
Alright.
say we have to bring out the gimp.
No.
You're separating the
gimp.
brothers.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're
that's
just
terrible.
This is the furthest away I've been from you in like 15 years.
We have separation anxiety. I can't be this far away from him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you didn't specify that you needed to be so close to each other, but to be able to perform.
Look at this. Hey, thank you all so much for being here. We cannot thank you.
Look at this crowd.
I know we're not a band, and Paul can't play the guitar.
But you were starting a boy band.
Have you
earlier.
tried?
Hon, you guys
Who
were
knows?
starting a boy band earlier today.
Yeah, we were thinking about it, but
Yeah.
Wait, hold on
Didn't
one
work
second.
out?
I just had an idea.
Okay.
If Paul and I had a boy band and a bourbon, would that be good?
Hey.
What are you
Now,
going to do in
there's
this
an
boy? Are you going to
idea.
sing?
didn't NSYNC just have a reunion?
They
We'll
did.
be
That's
like
right,
the
yeah,
old
that's right.
guys. It's like the old guys doing the boy band dance. You know what I mean? I can barely tie my
That's
shoelace,
perfect.
man. My back.
So, Paul, Ian, we are a drinking podcast, so the first thing we got to do, we need to start out with a little pour.
That's right.
So, what is this, my man? This is Brothers Bond Bourbon Whiskey. Have you guys ever had this before? You've had a couple people who've had this.
Is this the OG blend?
Yeah.
Yes,
this is
we
OG.
are starting with the OG blend, the original blend. This is an 80 proof whiskey. Paul, Ian, why don't one of you guys or both of you guys together, let's tell us a little bit about this.
We blended this in Ian's kitchen, literally.
Literally in my kitchen
Yeah.
for over a year.
Did you drink that much whiskey just
Yeah.
every day?
We drank a lot of whiskey.
It was during COVID, right? And like we were like, what else are we gonna do?
Yeah, right,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
We're just drinking bourbon and blending.
So do you remember any of the tastings?
Exactly. It's all
What
blur.
band is that? They are crushing life right
Yeah.
now.
We get a little
Hey.
crossover.
But listen, we literally, this was our passion, right? We knew we needed two things. And we talked about this last year, which is we knew we needed immediate approachability, meaning you could just drink this out of the bottle. But
Right.
we needed a complexity that even the snootiest, bitchiest, bearded bourbon drinkers, and you know you're out there,
I see a few of them.
I see them,
Huh?
me too.
There you are.
I just
Okay.
shaved mine. Could sip this and say, hey man, this is a really well-crafted spirit.
Hey, you
And
got
these
bearded guys up here. We're good, man. This
Yeah.
is a
You're a
well-crafted
bitchy
spirit.
bearded-
I am a
bourbon drinker?
bitchy bearded person. Thank you.
That's the
So
way we
here's
like to
to
play
you,
it.
and sipping really beautiful whiskey.
All right.
Cheers. So, guys, back in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you guys think again? I mean, what have you been doing? I think
Working
you were out
our asses
seeing
off.
some people today, weren't you?
We were. Being here in Kentucky, the thing about it is, it's like, listen, we're not a Kentucky bourbon. Being here with you all and the love that we get and the love that we feel, yeah, take it off, bro. Take it off, bro.
There you go.
The love that we get from all of you is really special. So let's taste this whiskey. Let's talk about it. I know you have a lot of other things you could be doing in your life. Thank you for being here with us. It means the world. So thank you.
And to answer your question, like we've been just hustling, man.
Yeah, man.
We've been hustling. We've
have
been
been.
on the road every single week, visiting a different city, a different state, and we are blending. We're coming out with multiple, expressions that we'll talk about. We got
some great stuff
We
coming.
just won. We won't get to it, but we'll get to the cask. We haven't gotten to it yet, but we're so proud. Our cask is a finalist. Not only did it win a double gold in New York, but it's a finalist for best in
Award.
And
That's what I'm
also,
talking
too,
about. Yeah.
Double gold in San Francisco, double gold in New York, and one of 3 finalists for best in class. I was in tears hearing this. So
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, you were telling me that this morning because we were actually going through and the you and I were talking. The whiskeys that you were even being in like talks with, Stag, E.H. Taylor's,
Yeah.
like, and then we have Brothers Bond. Like,
It's crazy.
Isn't that surreal?
Look at
It's
that.
completely
It's
surreal.
surreal.
I have to pinch myself a lot. So
It's wild, man.
how many of you have tried Brothers Bond? And then that's a significant amount.
Thanks, brother.
So
So-
thank you for that.
Ian,
Yo.
I am positive that there are probably a handful of people that are out here today seeing you guys visit and a meet and greet at a Kroger store today, weren't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Look
right.
at that. A couple people got to take some pictures with you.
Guys
What
just
do you
up
guys
north,
think about
right?
it, getting out there in a grocery store, meeting a crowd, meeting your fans?
Yeah, what's that like?
We love it, man, and a lot of Ian and I make a point, right? When we do this kind of thing, we talk about our bourbon. Somebody shows up with their bottle, and we say, we signed this bottle, but our agreement is you need to open this bottle.
Right.
We
Yeah.
don't want this bottle to sit on a shelf. You
Yes.
need to open this bottle.
We didn't
because the
work our
bourbon-
asses off.
Yeah.
to
All right.
produce a bourbon.
I need a round of applause for that because everybody should
the
open this bottle of whiskey.
people. Come on.
Look, guys, the autograph's not going away.
No, the autograph's not going away. But what Paul and I wanted to tell everyone, talk to everyone about is one of the best things I hear is people get a signed bottle and they go, "Hey, you and Paul signed this bottle. I took it home, and rather than putting it on a shelf, I opened it, and I had a cocktail party with my friends, and we talked about all the nostalgia of watching Vampire Diaries
Yeah.
for 8 years."
Hun, they've heard of that show?
And when you're, what's that?
I said they've heard of that show.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
have.
right?
Yeah, it's-
but when you do that, when the bottle's empty, the signatures are still there. Just fill it full of dried roses or some
No, but I
beautiful
mean,
flowers.
but you
or
know,
something,
when we came up with the name Brothers Bond, and we went back and forth, you should see our text thread. It was
Oh, I
like
would love to.
Ian was
Nobody
like,
wants to see that, Paul.
Ian was like, "What do you think of Brothers Supreme?" I was like, "That's the worst name I've ever heard in my
come
life."
on, man. You're going to have to do a little
Supreme.
better than that.
That sounds like a weird taco.
Yeah, sounds like a burger. I was like, all right, let's. So we settled on Brothers Bond because okay, it's a bond between us as brothers, but
Yeah.
it's more like the bond people have when they're drinking a spirit together, when they're drinking bourbon together. It's like the bonds you create, like right now,
Right.
with all of us, and that was sort of the big meaning behind the name. So we don't want that bottle to sit closed. We want it to sit open so you can create a bond with whomever you're drinking it with.
Man,
I
what
love
a
Let's
great
that.
way to put
bond!
it.
That's good.
Let's bond.
That's good.
Time to bond. Hashtag
Wow.
time to
By
bond.
the way, for all these gentlemen I see sitting out here, I know who your girlfriends or your wives dragged you or your kids dragged you here. I just want you to know that we've got something for everyone. We've got an 80 proof, we've got a 95 proof award-winning rye, and we've got a 115.1 proof cask. So don't you worry, you didn't get dragged here to drink just an 80 proof. We've got some great stuff together.
How you like that?
First
I
off,
like
that was
it.
a great
There you
answer.
go. That's
Great
right.
answer. It's a great answer. Hey,
All right,
so
what are we cracking open next?
yeah,
doing?
that's what. So I literally, it's funny that you said that.
This is
I
what I'm
literally
telling
just
you.
like
He's like, let's
waved
go.
at Austin. I was like, we need another pour.
Yeah,
Paul's been working hard today. He needs
Yeah.
he needs a little bit of a drink.
I
right?
sure do.
So while we're waiting, he's gonna pour us 2 more. So what's our next pour here? By the way, before we go into it, this is my favorite pour.
Hands
I know
down,
the
mine
cash
too.
is great. This is my favorite.
This is
pour.
hands down my favorite.
Who wants to talk about it?
Go
So
ahead.
let's do it. So Paul and I, obviously, we blend in my kitchen, or we blend at one. We have an office, but we also were blending in the back of my car, literally walking around with a crate full of bourbon.
That's a problem.
When we, yeah, right. But
get
when we
pulled over.
launched into this rye, and a lot of people go, "Well, I'm not much of a rye person," but they drink our rye and they go, "Holy shit, I love rye now." This rye came from us. This is the insatiable thirst to create something with the same DNA as Brothers Bond, but for you.
So it's a 4 grain.
It's a 4 grain,
grain.
but this was for the gatekeepers. This was for the bourbon purists, the GMs, the buyers, the bartenders, all the people that are the gatekeepers to the alcohol industry that serve people and say, hey, this is something I love. This was for you.
This is
and by the way, I'm not to sound crass, but we were scared shitless about getting into this category because remember, Paul, like, guys, only the big dogs play in this category, right?
Yeah.
If you're getting into the rye category,
this is a difficult category to get into.
this is the most difficult category to get in. And Paul and I were a little scared. So we decided to make sure that we never stopped until we found something that no one could poke holes in. No one.
So let's just do a quick cheers of this 4-grain rye. Quick
Yeah.
That's yours.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, everybody.
To you all.
Enjoy this
Woo!
beautiful 4-grain.
Try this rye. Even on the
thank
nose.
you for so much time at blending it and drinking a lot of whiskey for us, Ian.
Thanks, brother. Even, by the way, even on the nose, you get these like floral notes, almost like a rose petal on a rye. You're typically not going to get that.
Oh, man.
It's so good.
What's the proof on this, guys?
95.
95 proof. It's so
That's
approachable.
real nice.
So
Yeah.
approachable.
Really, really nice.
That's really good. Yeah.
It just really just kind of coats the tongue. You get a little spice of that rye grain. Just right on
It's
the
so
back
good.
palate.
But it's got a
Oh.
sweetness. There's a
Yeah,
sweetness.
there is
a lot of sweetness, yeah.
It's a really well balanced.
I like
it's a beautiful 4-grain rye. Now we got some big people over here. Rob, what do you think of this whiskey, everybody?
Rob
There you go.
Dietrich.
Calling out Rob. This is Rob Dietrich. He's
Rob
the master
Dietrich.
distiller of blackened whiskey. He is a beast in his own realm. Wouldn't you guys agree?
He really is.
Yeah.
And I'm also sitting here. This cigar I have is a cigar that Rob made with Hetfield and with Drew.
I can't wait to have this.
This thing is unbelievable. Like, when you talk about craftsmanship, these are true craftsmen. And Rob, we're grateful to be in your presence, brother. Thank
There
you,
you go.
man.
Love you, buddy.
Awesome.
All right,
So what kind of this is a rye. How do you guys feel about the grains, the different grains in the whiskeys? What's your favorite grain, would you say?
Yeah.
Is it a rye or is it a...
You know, it's funny. I've now over the last year since our rye came out, I've genuinely, this is my go-to.
Yeah.
So I never used to be a rye guy.
Sure.
I was always just like, give me the bourbon, give me the basic, you know. And now I'm all about the rye.
You fall in love with it, don't you?
I'm all about
That's
the rye,
right.
and it's tough to go back
Yeah.
once you fall in love.
Right.
So for me, I like the spice.
It's like with me, Paul. Once you fall in love, bro, it's hard to go.
because I got a contract.
How nice is that?
I tried to get Ian kicked out by security earlier, but they said no.
You know, that's the funny thing about love. You know, it's funny. Paul and I fell in love under a very stringent Warner Brothers contract.
Hey, those
and
contracts
then-
will do it to you.
And then-
You were forced to fall in love?
We were forced to fall. It was like an arranged marriage.
But
then
it worked
we
out. See?
We were forced to keep the love
arranged
going.
marriage.
We were forced to keep the love going with a bourbon contract. Woo!
There you go.
So how long have you guys been blending whiskey all together now?
Yeah.
We started
Blending what?
Blending whiskey.
How long we've been
that's what we're
blending?
talking about, Ian.
Well, the
Come on.
crazy thing is, it takes 4 years and 1 day before we can put this into a barrel. So
I mean, not all, but these three are all aged 4 years. 4 years and 1 day.
yeah, so we have one thing we're going to reveal to you, but that's 6 years.
Aged
But
more.
that's
No, we'll say that is a
that's-
surprise.
that's
of the
in
year.
here.
It's in
We
the
got a
bag.
surprise for you guys.
but
Holy shit,
we don't do anything under 4 years, and so if it takes 4 years and 1 day, before we can put this in a barrel. So we started laying down this whiskey, and the thing about bourbon is, it takes a tremendous amount of patience,
It does.
and it takes a tremendous amount of, needless to say, capital. Capital and patience are very unique resources.
That's true.
They really are.
I don't know which one's more valuable.
Yeah, I don't even know either. But to be sitting here with you now, really 5 years after starting this, more than that, really, after starting this, is really special. And I know, listen, we're at Bourbon and Beyond. I know you have access to the best whiskey makers in the world.
That's
Right.
the reason we brought you
I'm
guys.
looking
Yeah,
at-
that's why you're here.
There's
Come on.
the whole
I'm-
reason you guys are here.
I'm actually looking at Wes Henderson right here
Wes
in the
Henderson,
crowd.
my man. Guys,
Arguably one of the
If you-
best whiskey makers in the
if you
world,
don't know
so give
who
him
Wes
a round of
Henderson
applause.
Is, you are missing out. He is a legend Absolute legend. I
A
love
round of
this man right
applause.
here. Wes, thank you so much.
And we're lucky enough to be working on a collaboration with him. So,
We are. And so
that?
one of the big
Hey.
reveals is to
Right.
be able to be in the presence of this man and doing a collaboration with Wes Henderson. That is
honored.
We are honored.
Now, I will say
Gonna blow people's
that
minds, and we're
you
honored,
all are
man.
not tasting that today, but I got to.
How good was
And
that?
holy shit.
It was amazing.
Like, wow.
And you
Wes'
think of
brainchild. I mean, just amazing.
It's amazing. You think about the ability of, well, this is heritage. This is like bourbon royalty. You think of the Lincoln Hendersons and the Wes Hendersons of the world. We're a small company. We're brand new to this business. So, brother, to be a part of this with you is a dream, literally. So, thank you, Wes.
And let me also say, I have to say this about Wes. It wouldn't be Bourbon and Beyond without you being here with us.
It would not,
There you
brother.
go.
It would not be.
And you know what's
without these
amazing?
guys being here either. I mean,
You know what's amazing is, too, like I have 2 small children, but Wes has 6 of them. So he's building this family, literally a family of some of literally the greatest bourbon makers in the world. So it's just an incredible situation. But so for Paul and I to be these like, novice bourbon makers who end up becoming, quite successful because of you crazy
okay.
people.
Look at these people out here.
You crazy people.
All right.
But we know how it goes, gentlemen. We know how it goes. Your wife or your girlfriend or your daughter comes home and says, Dad, honey, you got to try this. And you're like, oh, God, okay. Another bullshit celebrity brand. Sure, I'll try it. No, you don't understand. You got to try this. And you took a sip and you went, oh, shit. These guys are horrible actors, but they make great whiskey.
Like,
So we appreciate you,
It's good to
man.
know your role.
so let's just say this real fast. What I love is, we were talking earlier, and like, you guys are making whiskey because of the passion that you have for whiskey, which is why you're here. Like, you didn't just sign a check, you're getting paid, you're out there working, you're trying to make everybody
What do you mean? There is
love.
no check.
Oh,
We
okay.
own the company.
Still waiting on that.
I write the checks.
We're the only people in the company that don't get paid.
But you came here. But it's the passion that you have behind this whiskey, which is what brought all these beautiful people out here.
Yeah.
But for people like me who love whiskey, people like Wes, people like Rob, like, you made this whiskey for whiskey drinkers.
That's right.
Like,
That's
I
right.
love it, man.
Thank you. And-
What was it, 3 years ago? 3 years ago, so I have to tell this story because when I told this story to their team, they said, you got to tell this on stage. So I'm going to tell this real fast. And I might get booed for a second.
Here's one of Chris's stories, everybody. Prepare yourself.
We were in a steam room. No, I'm joking.
Ian, we have talked about this
Oh,
many
sorry.
times.
Oh,
Sorry.
Lord.
So about 4 years ago, a guy called me and said, hey, look, we got these guys, and they make a whiskey, and I need you to buy a bunch, but they'll come in and sign it. And I said, oh, sure. I said, who is it? And if you know me, I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of movies. It's just, I'm busy all the time. And they said, well, it's Ian Somerhalder and Paul Wesley. And I said, oh, who?
Okay.
Who the hell's that? Yeah.
And they said, oh.
Shocker.
They said, oh, they're the stars of the Vampire Diaries. And I said,
Thanks, brother.
okay. So then the next thing I asked, which is what I always ask, you're in Kentucky, and I don't think this is a bad question. I said, well, it's Kentucky whiskey, right? And they said, well, no.
Maybe
Indiana.
not.
It's a mile. It's a couple miles from the border.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's a
Yes,
couple
you're
miles
right.
before, and I said, okay.
Proudly Indiana.
And he told me, he's like, you
Close
will
enough.
sell every single case. And I said, all right, man, I don't seem to understand how this is going to sell that well in Kentucky. Now, when Ian came in town, he didn't tell anybody. And he came in and he signed a bunch of bottles. I had COVID. This amazing,
Oh, yeah, you were sick as a dog.
I was. And this amazing, beautiful
You
man.
were a diseased animal.
I was a diseased animal. He sent me a video, and he told me how great and how appreciative it was for having his whiskey. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Still don't know who this guy is. So
No clue.
24 hours later, I am sold out of every single bottle. Every bottle in 24 hours.
How'd that happen?
And I said, who the fuck are these guys like to do this? So I start looking, and then later on, I did the most incredible thing, which I thought was instantly going to be a no, or I wouldn't even get a response. I asked them 2 years ago. I said, "Look, I'm going to host this stage at this huge, massive bourbon festival. Would you guys want to come and talk to the public about your whiskey?"
Hell yeah.
I thought it was instantaneous, going to be a no, or I wouldn't hear anything back. I kid you not, 24 hours later, they write back and said, "We're in. We can't wait to come to Kentucky."
That's awesome.
And now we are on year 2 of you joining us back here in beautiful Louisville, Kentucky, joining us now on my podcast.
Yeah.
And I can't thank you enough, but I think it's just an incredible story that shows what you've done for the brand, what you've done for whiskey, what you've done for bourbon.
So the real question is, did you then go and binge watch the
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries?
Stop.
Absolutely. Come on, huh?
Okay, stop. Yes, I did.
You gotta
Yes,
give
I
it a
watched
go.
little bit. Okay?
Listen.
Quit it.
Listen, by the way, I got to tell you, for all you guys in this audience, I just want you to know we are acutely aware of the pain you may or may not feel. But we want you to know that we appreciate you being here. And the idea is, the ethos of this company that we built, we spent 8 years together on television, and we've spanned the entire globe. It's one of the most viewed shows in the world. The idea was just coming together, bonding, human experience,
Yeah.
Yes.
collective experience together. That's all it is, man. And that's all bourbon is.
Yes.
This community
That's
is
right.
so
Yeah, that's
powerful.
100% right. Yeah.
So to be a part of this, and to be a part of this with you guys and people like Rob Dietrich and Wes Henderson, and like, this is like a dream for us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for sticking it out and listening to your ladies and say, "Hey, we got to see these guys."
Right. Yeah.
Thank
there
you.
you go.
Now,
Thank you.
Ian, can I add on to one thing on that? Like, you guys get to see these amazing, amazing actors on TV, movies, everything like that. Our new Captain Kirk over here, by the way.
Right.
That's right.
Captain
Yeah.
Kirk right here.
Brave
The
New
first-
Worlds, baby.
By
So-
the way,
all right.
the first time in history since Shatner to play Captain Kirk on television is my brother Paul Wesley.
Thank you. No pressure. No pressure.
So I do want to finish that is everything that you've seen, these guys coming up here, it's not fake. These are two of the most incredible, most passionate people about what they do, about the whiskey that they're making, about what they're doing for you all. They are just as great as you see on TV. They are wonderful, wonderful people. So
Thank you, bro.
guys
That
so
means
much.
a lot. Thank you
Yeah,
so
they're
much.
pretty
man.
all
That
right.
means a
I
lot.
gotta
Thank
give
you,
them
brother.
that
I
one.
appreciate
Yeah,
that, man.
That's right.
No, we text, we send pictures.
Yeah, we send all sorts of crazy pictures to each other.
Somebody tried to ask me for my phone earlier. Said you don't want to see that stuff. You don't want to see that text message.
But you know, I gotta tell you,
Oh,
hey,
my
how many?
goodness.
I mean, obviously, I know you guys are all. Everyone here is. You're here to see music, but how many of you here love bourbon? So it's a vast majority.
So what do you guys think about this bourbon, this 4-grain pour that we just had?
This is amazing.
What do you guys think?
Right?
It's a beautiful 4-grain whiskey, guys.
Do they have the cask?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they
Yeah.
got the cast
Yeah.
strength,
Yeah.
buddy. They
Yeah.
got the cast strength.
That's right.
You think I was going to bring you all the way
That's
out here
right.
and not
You
have
never
multiple
know.
pours?
Thank
come
you.
on,
Don't you
Paul.
worry about them.
Come on, man.
I underestimated.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I underestimated.
You've worked with me for a while now. You think I'm gonna show off your bottles? I'm not gonna let these guys drink it?
As we
My
should.
bad, my
You guys
bad.
are excited about this one, aren't you?
So we got the rye, we got the 80 proof.
Let's go ahead and we'll start for the next pour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
so
go.
why don't you tell us this other pour here?
Now
this
this
is
is-
cast strength whiskey.
This is our baby that, this cast strength is, as you guys know, the undiluted, uncut, unfiltered, straight out of the barrel, essentially. It's our cast strength. And this is the 114, 115?
115.1 proof.
115.1.
It goes from 115.1 to 114.8. Couple variations, but
You typically don't drink this neat. I mean, if you do, if you're a real bourbon lover, right? But a lot of people who aren't used to it, it's real hot. But I think our cask is so damn smooth. Even for a cask strength bourbon, it is so smooth. I drink it on the rocks all the time.
You don't know that it's 115. Yeah. And I just got to tell you, like, and by the way, I know everybody's got music to see and stuff. I just want to say, we're not here like boasting about our brand. This is just love for this. Think about this. We are a brand new company. We're actually terrible actors, but we have great whiskey.
Man, speak for yourself, okay?
Oh, yeah, speak for myself, yeah.
Why is he throwing you under the bus? Come on,
Hey, Ian, Captain fucking Kirk.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
Talking to Kurt, some respect.
Leave him alone. Jeez.
Beat me up, Scotty. But check this out, man.
Sibling
this
rivalry.
This bourbon, literally this cask strength, which is our 70 finest barrels. We do all of our inventory. Gentlemen, you want to know this. This won double gold in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Double
if you're
gold
a whiskey guy, you know how important that is.
Everyone knows San Fran.
Double gold in New York, and one of 3 finalists for best in class.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
So thank you.
And we're real proud of this. So we blend 3-grain mash bills to create a 4-grain mash bill. And this is it. We age it for 4 years in one day. And the result is this guy right here. This is in its purest form. So if you have it, take a sip.
Yes, and let's go through. Let's just go ahead and cheers again, because this is Cask Strength Brothers
One
Bond
more.
Whiskey.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Right?
Thank you so much. Are you smoking a cigar? Where'd you get that lighter?
You want me to get it lit for you? Watch
Oh,
this.
that's
You
nice,
ready?
guys.
Austin.
I got a
nice.
Rob Dietrich cigar here. I want to light
another
it.
lighter for the cigar. No, this is what's having great assistance on
When
stage.
you get a chance, and I know there's like way big bands playing, but when you get a chance, gentlemen and ladies, try this cask strength. It's going to go fast. It's very unique that it's double gold on both coasts and finalist for best in class. This is major, so thank you.
So, Ian, look, I got matches for you, buddy.
Oh, look
Pappy
at
Van
you.
Winkle
There you
matches.
go.
Happy Van Winkle.
Never heard of that.
I
Never
wanna
heard of
say,
Pappy
that's a
Van
nice
Winkle.
looking matchbox.
If you actually were over here earlier, we had a panel with Wayne Newton earlier, by the way. Like, you guys are awesome, and I got to smoke cigars with Wayne Newton.
Dankeschön,
I love you guys to death.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön, ma'am.
There
So-
you go.
The gentleman that was actually up here, was with Drew Estate Cigars, a part of this amazing blend of this blackened cigar that we have here that our man Rob over here gave us. Look at that.
Beautiful.
So we had it. Look at this. Oh, look at that box.
There you go. That's
Look,
nice. Look
I'm
at this.
amazed that Rob brought it over here.
That's
He
beautiful.
normally doesn't let me touch stuff like this, so that's cool.
By the
Thanks,
way,
Rob. We're gonna stick that. You okay with this being right up in front?
Of
That's
course.
Get it out of here.
By the
Check
way,
that out.
you gotta realize
being diva again.
it's hard enough to run an incredible whiskey brand, which Blackened is, and done so much success in that. But then to build a cigar with this flavor profile, and I know not everybody's a cigar smoker, but man, these things are amazing.
These
so
guys
to be
up
a
here
part
are.
of this, or to be able to hold this on stage as a gift from you, brother, thank you, man. Paul and I are really
Yes.
grateful.
Thank you so much.
But I'll tell you,
So,
it goes really amazing with our bourbon. Holy shit.
Ian, Paul, can I ask you a question?
Of course, brother.
I hope so, because you
See.
came up on a goddamn podcast.
I say
So,
just ask
that's
the
what it's
question and see
about.
what happens.
So let me ask you, what's your favorite cocktail to make with Brothers Bond Whiskey? Now, you guys have some
Yeah, you got a
cocktails on
couple
your
over
recipe,
at
right?
the Big
Yeah,
Bourbon
so-
Bar, right?
Yeah, you actually have a little activation serving some cocktails.
Well, you talking about on bourbon.com? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, there's some cocktails on
That's
there,
right, baby.
Brothers
So if you go on
Bourbon.com.
bourbon.com, got a
What's your-
lot of good cocktails there. A
What's
lot.
your all's favorite cocktail to make with Brothers Bond?
We have one that's really fun because it's called the Blood Brothers. And
All right, there you go.
You put like what the final finish is if you put a little port wine on top and it kind of you see all
You
the
drizzle-
port
you
legs
drizzle
like,
it on
drizzle down
top.
and it
So
looks
it's like this little-
it looks like there's blood kind of
I
going
like
down.
that. That's cool, yeah,
It's
all
actually
right.
amazing and
It's
it
kind of amazing. The leg. So what it is the
the
legs
port
of the
legs,
port
yeah.
come down
So the port
into that
legs go-
bright yellow
go-
of
So
the
it
of the
makes it look
citrus,
like
and
it's
it's
just
like
Yeah, and so
cool,
it's
dude.
like it's kind of
it's
cool.
amazing. Try it.
And it tastes
really good. You know it, brother. It's really great.
There you go.
And by the way, this is an easy cocktail party at your house. Like, this is a fun thing to do. Here you go, Paulie.
I have.
But I'll tell you, man, it's really, listen, as you know, life's tough. It's fun to have things to do, man. So to invite your friends over, hey, let's have a Brothers Bond, cocktail party. We're going to do, Blood Brothers. We're going to do a Mystic Charmer. We're going to do an Old Fashioned. And you just go through it, man. You do a tasting.
What's the Mystic Charmer?
Yeah, what is that?
Holy shit!
I think that had some.
The Mystic Charmer, I have to say, is a little like crack. It is.
Be careful.
Yeah, right? No, it's literally.
I'll tell you a funny story.
It's a big.
Oh, let's hear it.
No,
let's hear it.
my mom.
You were talking about the one in our underwear?
So my mom
hope so.
was like, we were doing this shoot, like Ian and myself and a bunch of others, and my mom and dad were visiting. So my mom came to visit L.A., and the shoot was like all the way at the top of this mountain, and you had to go up this crazy cliff. And my mom,
it was really
and my
really
mom
scary.
has like a fear of heights, and she was like just crying, trying to get
Freaking
up,
out.
in the car, and it's like freaking out. And she gets to the top, and she's like usually pretty composed, and she literally grabs. She grabbed a bottle of Brothers Bond.
And she goes.
And then Ian. Next thing I know, Ian and her
Out of the bottle.
we're out of the bottle, and then next thing I know,
We're
Ian
sitting
and
on a
her,
mountainside together.
We're drinking Mystic Charmers all night long on the mountainside with Ian and my mom. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
She's my girl, man.
But she loved it because it chilled her out. It calmed her nerves.
It really is.
She had to make it back down the mountain. And then back down the mountain, she was all good.
Piece of cake.
This is all
Hey,
good.
we got it.
This is so when you talk about cocktails, like what do you do with bourbon, right? This is a large format. This is in a beer mug. You take a beer mug, you freeze them. You do bourbon, shaken with lemon, little tiny simple. I always go more at bourbon, less sugar, because our bourbon's so sweet and yummy.
Right way to go.
It's so yummy. What's that?
That's the right way to go.
It's the right way to go.
Yeah.
More bourbon.
And then you strain this over ice, finish it with a little ginger ale, and we also do a little bit of soda now to brighten it up, and a lemon wheel. Now you've got this big cocktail. It's large
and the reason
format.
we created it is because, we love bourbon. That's what we drink. But a lot of people are like, oh, bourbon, you can't drink that during the day.
Yeah, right.
You can't drink that poolside. I want to drink tequila, blah, blah, blah. And we created this because this is like a bourbon cocktail that people could drink during the day. It's citrusy.
They love it.
It's refreshing.
Absolutely.
It's light.
Poolside,
And so we're
mountainside,
introducing
like-
bourbon to people that would typically drink, a clear spirit, like a vodka or tequila. It's like, no, try this because it's better and it's just as refreshing.
And also, too, the tequila drinkers, like, drinking our bourbon is like drinking it, like a
Añejo.
Reposado or
Yeah.
Añejo tequila. People love it, man. Like, that's what it's about, is introducing people to something that's special.
So you bring up a good question now, like this. So before,
What's up?
Before Vampire Diaries, before you're out there, you're drinking whiskey together.
It's not
Were
BC,
you-
it's BV.
It's
Before
BV.
Vampire.
There was no BV.
Before
It's
Christ.
like-
I will never refer to it wrong again.
All right, so BV.
Yeah, you got to get it together
I'm
over
gonna
here,
get
man.
saved by
BV.
Ethan Somerhalder. That's awesome. So, were you whiskey drinkers before?
Hell yeah.
Were you,
Oh, yeah.
Were you?
Hell yeah.
I mean, he grew up in the South, right?
Okay.
Ian grew up in Louisiana.
Yeah, okay,
So he
yeah.
was drinking bourbon out of a baby bottle.
Good
That's
for
what,
you.
That's what we do in this.
That's why. That's how we do it.
Out of the nipple. Nice.
It just came
It's the
straight
South,
out. Yeah.
Paul.
There you go.
We get it. We get it.
But the truth is, we shot the show in the South in Georgia, and we were down in Georgia for
Woo!
almost-
Georgia!
We were down there.
How
for-
many people from Georgia in the house? Georgia's the best, man.
So we were down there shooting, and all they do is drink bourbon down there. And so I started drinking bourbon. I mean, our characters drank bourbon on screen, and then I would go home. We weren't really drinking bourbon. We were drinking iced tea or whatever,
Yeah.
And I would go home craving bourbon. I'd be like,
Really?
Because I have to pretend to drink bourbon all day on screen. And so I'd go home and I'd be like, I got to get some bourbon. So I actually fell in love, to answer your question, I fell in love in the South, in Georgia, while I always liked bourbon, but I didn't fall in love with it
Right.
until I was 26. I was shooting the show, and I just fell in love with bourbon.
Sweet.
Do you remember, either one of you remember one of the first sips where you, or even the brand that you liked bourbon, where you're like, wow, this is really something special. This is something good.
I mean,
Well, go ahead, brother.
Well, I'll go ahead.
No, I mean, I grew up in the South, so I grew up, the cool thing, like, not to get, like, super deep on it, but the cool thing about bourbon is I grew up very poor in the South, and what was cool about it was bourbon was that, like, even level playing field. It's different than, like, wine, right?
Yes.
The socioeconomics of wine are very different, right?
It could be absolutely everywhere.
But bourbon is an even playing field. So, like, when you're at a Saints game in Louisiana, even like the rich guys were drinking the same, Jim Beam as the guys that were like couldn't afford stuff. So it was an even playing field for me, and it was so special to bond over bourbon or to see my kinfolk bonding over bourbon. And that was a really special thing, man. And so growing up as an adult, for us, bourbon was about bonding.
Right. Yeah.
That's why we're all here, and that's why you all, by the way, are wasting your time.
Yeah.
You could be seeing a musical act,
I think you
but you're here with us
Yep.
because you're bonding over bourbon,
Now,
and we freaking love you for it, man.
Now, Ian, I gotta interrupt you for a second because I gotta hear Paul's story too. Do you remember the first time you ever had a sip of bourbon? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Do you
like,
remember
Bro,
where you were like,
remember-
holy shit, man? This whiskey,
Bro, remember when I
whiskey's good.
waterboarded you with bourbon the first time?
I do remember, like, I don't remember the first. The answer is no, but I do. We'll tell you this much: Ian and I were flying every week. I mean, literally every week, and we were flying. Delta, and Delta has Woodford, right? So I would get on the plane after a long day of shooting or whatever, and I'd always order a Woodford on the rocks, Woodford neat, whatever. So I kind of like started with Woodford. It's like the intro, and it's like a very decent, good bourbon.
It's a great bourbon.
Yeah, it's a very
great
good,
bourbon.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that was my introduction to bourbon, and then I started to play around. Then I started to order. Oh, let me try this. Let me try that. But that was like my go-to because it's very readily available. It's accessible, and it's very good.
So where
But
did
also
it come
too, but
to?
by the way,
Go ahead.
people always ask us. They say, "Hey, listen, where in the hell did the flavor for Brothers Bond come from?" And Paul and I, not to sound like too crass, but imagine this: if like Basil Hayden and Angel's Envy went to a party
Oh.
and they got hammered and
There
they
you
hooked up
go.
in a broom closet and they had a love child,
Is this
it
how he
would be
explains it
Brothers
to you, Paul?
Bond.
I want to make a bourbon where it feels like a love triangle.
Hey,
If there was a love
it worked
child
out
between
for
Basil
Vampire.
Hayden and Angel's Envy, it would be Brothers Bond. And so we feel like really confident and in love with that familia. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, brother?
That's great.
You know
Do
what
you
I
guys
mean?
know what he means? You like that? Woo! So, the one thing that I love about your bourbon, and I know that you make bourbon for everybody, but it's introduced so many new, wonderful drinkers to this amazing craft.
That's
that we
right.
have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, it's introduced so many.
Yeah, we're trying to bring new drinkers into the category.
It's
We're
unreal.
trying to add, and I think we have.
And
Yeah.
to
Experience
understand that,
that, right?
this is about like the artistry, the craftsmanship. Like, this is delicious stuff. What'd you guys think?
brother.
Like, did you guys get
What do
to
you think
taste
about
that
this,
cask
Rob?
Like
strength?
that?
Like, this was
right.
115 proof.
Oh, the cask.
Yeah.
That's right.
115 proof.
115 proof.
That felt good.
Like,
150.
what you didn't hear when me and Paul went over, we were like, this is so good.
Because it just does, there's no burn. I mean, there's no like
No.
weird burn,
Yeah.
and you're
Not at
like,
all.
oh shit.
Now, Paul, I got to interrupt you for 1 second. Rob, what do you think? The cast strength. Here, come here, Rob. Come here. What do you think, buddy?
Oh,
Here.
look at this. Special guest.
Dude, I am blown away by this
There
stuff.
you go.
Oh, hon, he's going to pour him more. No, Paul, you just open
Hey,
it
we're
up,
ad-libbing
man.
this thing here.
You just open it up, buddy. Rob
Guys,
didn't know
this
that
is
he
the
was going to be
master
invited
blender
on
for
There you
stage.
Blackened.
go.
But Rob's one of my good friends. If you don't know this, I mean, I'm telling you, amazing whiskey. amazing.
Thanks, Paul. There you go. Look at you.
That's the best cologne.
We were
Paul playing
joking
bartender
earlier
over
that
here.
Rob only smells like whiskey and cigars.
Rob, I got to tell you, man, this is one of the best cigars I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Cigar is amazing,
Thanks for getting that
right?
done. That's awesome, man.
This is a true brotherhood.
Let's cheers with Rob real fast, a legend in whiskey
I got an
making.
empty cup, but hey, there you go.
Thank you for being here with us and watching this genius here.
So,
Try that cask, Rob.
what do you think?
All right.
This is from a true, amazing master distiller. Let's hear what you think, buddy.
All right, I got to tell you, drinking cask strength whiskey is whiskey in its pure, unadulterated form. It's like an unbridled pony in the desert. It's a Mustang. You guys are killing it.
Thank you, brother.
Love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Man,
Look,
that's
you guys
that's
don't
some heavy
know.
praise.
For anybody who is in the whiskey world, that is like A plus
right.
grading. Like
This guy
you
is
know
no
it,
joke, man.
You know it. Like that's A plus grading
brother.
from a true genius.
so.
Gentlemen, if you have a chance, these Maduro 81s, M81s,
Oh my god.
Maduros, they designed this. And think about this. By the way, it's like, I have to pinch myself being on stage with this guy, but you got to remember,
So if you ever, I'm sorry, Ian. If you ever want to see Ian and Paul fangirl out, bring
bring him into a
Rob,
room with
Rob
Rob
bring
and
That's right.
Wes Henderson.
bring
Like,
That's
Master
right.
Distillers, and man, they fangirl out.
Yeah. So you got to think about this. So people that are all about flavor, right? So Rob has been able to make the most incredible whiskeys. Now he's making cigars. So you got to realize you're building these flavor profiles to work with one another. Life is all about the details, right? All these, you know what I'm saying. I see you shaking your head.
That's right. Look over there,
You got
huh?
a big beard and you're a
Love
bitchy
it.
beard.
He gets it, baby. He gets it.
He fits the profile.
This is about flavor, and this is about love and passion and expertise. So, thank you, Rob.
No, man, thank you so much. This is always so much fun. This is about the community. This is a whiskey community. This is about the passion that everybody shares. This is what brings us all together. I feel like whiskey is the original social media. That's what
You got that right.
Like before social media, it's
You got
whiskey.
that right.
This is what brings us together.
you
This
go.
is why we are
Yes.
all bonded.
You
Let me
know,
tell
I
you,
gotta tell
Rob
something
didn't
before-
know he was going to come up here and do this. We all
He
love
embraced it,
Rob
though.
so fucking much. So we're like, Rob, come over and talk.
But before you leave, man, you know, the first Zoom meeting I ever did with Jim Rutledge, obviously of Four Roses fame, and now Blue Run, right? And Jim told me in the infancy of our company, Jim said to me, he goes, "Hey, listen, man," because he was on this call with me, and he goes, "Listen, in Kentucky, in the bourbon space, there is no competition. There is only community."
What?
Think
a
about that,
beautiful
Yeah,
man.
that's
attitude.
awesome. Yeah.
One of the most famous bourbon distillers in the world, in history, telling me is like new bourbon makers. There's no competition in bourbon, only community. Boom! That is fucking major, man.
Beautiful.
You know, I was just saying on the side, real fast, Paul, that whiskey brought us all here. Whiskey brought us all. This is called Bourbon and Beyond. This is a festival to celebrate whiskey. It's to celebrate friendship,
Yep.
bonding. Like, this is where we're at today. What do you think about that, man?
I mean, look, dude, it's we live in a very divided culture,
We sure
Yes,
do.
we do.
and frankly, coming out of COVID, we were also divided because nobody was able to see one another.
That's
So
right.
to be able to have a festival where everyone's just enjoying themselves and talking about something that they love.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't get much better than that, right?
You guys love
Absolutely.
Brothers Bond whiskey? You guys love Ian Somerhalder, Paul Wesley, and
I
Rob
think
Dietrich?
so. I think they do.
So wait, so we have
Think
one
they
more
might.
thing.
One more
Yeah.
surprise.
Let's see
Oh,
what
I
let's
know
see
you
what
wanna-
we got
you
over
have a-
here.
So I
I
am
don't
not
blame you. I know you're
joking.
missing your
this
favorite
is
band.
completely unplanned. I have absolutely no fucking idea what they're doing.
And I know.
We're
and I
all
know
gonna be
that, By the way,
surprised.
all of you guys here, I know that you are missing your favorite band because your wife wants to be here. I got you, girls.
We got you.
Check this out.
I see you over there.
So Paul and I have been working our asses off on this brand. We found a blend that we just
Fell in love with. Yeah.
we could not
we
put
both
this in a
we
bottle.
both were like, we have to release this. Yeah.
Now,
So-
I will say, last year, you unveiled a whiskey here. Are you doing that again?
Yeah.
Right now.
We sure are.
Look at this guy.
So we want to present our Bottled and Bond.
Bottled in Bond.
This is a black label.
What?
100 proof,
There you
bottled and
go.
bond.
Bond, 100
Brothers
proof whiskey?
Bond, bottled and
Bottled
bond.
in Bond.
That's right,
Think
baby.
of that name.
Boys, you're going to make me melt. You're going to make me melt.
Brothers Bond, Bottled
Hey.
and Bond. Say that 5
Austin,
times.
can
See
we
if you
get
can
some
away.
glasses?
After
That's
having
right.
some bottled and bond. Yeah.
All right, I'm having Austin bring us glasses because it's most important. Because Rob's up here, we got to make sure he tastes
We got to
it.
make
Yeah.
sure Rob
We
tries this.
have to make sure he tastes
But
it.
the
This is a
idea is,
6-year.
and by the
Guess we
way,
should've had a
gentlemen,
fifth
ladies and
microphone.
gentlemen, you know this.
Ian, you want to talk a little bit about? It's a 6-year.
It's a 6-year. It's a very so when we were blending our rye bourbon. So listen, here's the thing about us. We have no inventory management. And by the way, if you talked to me 6 years ago about what inventory management was, I wouldn't know what the boop you were talking about. But we do it, and we go back and forth between Lawrenceburg, Indiana. We track these barrels for 2 years out, obsessively, like an obsessive boyfriend. That you might want to get a restraining order.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, Ian, we have some glasses here.
All right.
But me and Rob felt completely, we didn't feel right cracking.
What a treat, dude. What a treat.
Let's do this.
This
Oh my
is,
gosh.
listen,
I'm
coming
so
from a guy.
sorry, but they only brought enough for a beer.
Look, Ian knows how to pour too. Look at him. Yeah, there you go. I like
Look,
it.
Ian's been here once or twice. It's like Bourbon and Bond. Let's get these guys messed up.
Listen, I just want these guys to taste this because I want you to try this. This is, thank you for wearing that shirt, brother. I got to tell you, this is not about just selling whiskey. This is about a community, and you have invited us into this community, and we love you for it. We have worked our asses off.
Let's
Oh,
say
we're
this
glad
is
to
the
have you.
Kentucky.
This is a Kentucky blend. The idea is this is a Kentucky blended bourbon.
There
That
you
is
go.
the idea is Bottled and Bond. This is the official seal of bourbon. But we've distilled this proudly in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Try this bourbon, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
the
you need
nose.
to try this one.
Yeah, let's go ahead and say I'm sorry you guys don't have this, but I can tell you right now, this nose.
It's kicking ass, man.
Oh, that's beautiful,
I
man.
This nose for a while, man.
You know, they told me earlier that it's like, we got a surprise for you. I
And
said,
here it is.
Well,
Isn't
what
that
is
delicious?
it? They
I
would
love it.
not
Yeah,
tell
that's
me
great.
until right now. This is 100 proof.
100 proof, bottled and bond.
100 proof, bottle and bond. Oh my
That's perfect.
gosh, boys.
Brothers Bond, Bottled and Bond is about to be out on shelves. Thank you for this.
Get down and get it.
Now, since you said out on
Thank
shelves,
you.
Ian, are you going to sell this at Kroger?
Does a bear shit in the woods?
Oh, yes, it does. Yes,
I
it does.
believe
Paul?
a bear does shit in the woods.
Do you want this sold at Kroger?
Thank you.
Does a what else is there? What else shits in
Yeah,
I
the
don't know. Do some Star Trek.
Does a Scotty beam up?
That's,
No,
yeah,
goddamn
absolutely.
right,
Does Scotty beam me up?
That's right. That's right. Yes. See?
So, man, this is delicious. I'm so sorry, guys. This is mean to everybody that's out here right now because this is a delicious pour.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
This is
Gosh.
fantastic. Yeah.
So when do we get that? I know I heard earlier that you guys were like rushing to do something special. When do we get to see something like this actually out to the public and let all these beautiful people try
Good.
it?
I don't want to give an exact date, but Ian, when do we expect this to hit shelves? I mean, do we have any?
And I know you don't know an exact date, but because
Yeah.
this is brand new.
I think by end of year.
Okay. There you go.
End of year, guys.
Hun, Paul didn't have enough.
There it is. Love it.
Rob,
Get a
real
nice
fast,
shot of that
while
one.
Ian's looking over and he's scrolling out here. What do you
wait, where
think
do you
of
go?
this from a master distiller perspective?
This is mind blowing. Bottled and Bond is not an easy thing to do. This takes passion. This takes talent. This takes a lot of love and respect for the bourbon itself, for the process. You guys are killing it.
Thank
You're
you,
absolutely
brother.
killing it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Look at Ian. He's on his knees. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
I know, right?
Ian, what the hell's going on? This guy's had too much Bottled and Bond.
This guy's doing some fan service down here, huh? There you go.
Gosh.
No, thank you, guys.
How long you been at the festival today?
Yeah, right. Oh, we started early, man. We
There
started
you
at
go.
Kroger. And we were not just signing bottles. Okay, it's legal to taste in Kentucky. Okay,
That's
just
It
for the
is
record.
100% legal. Like, let me tell you, these guys were working so hard this morning. They were in the store signing bottles, and then they went out and we did a whole Instagram of
right.
Kroger Chris picks up there, and we watched it was 500 plus people
It was pretty awesome.
to see you amazing people. Like, wow, you went through all of that. What do you think about the whiskey, Paul?
What do I think about the whiskey?
Yeah.
This guy right here?
That's right.
I mean, I hate to say it, but this might be my new favorite.
Oh, yeah.
This might be my new favorite.
I
Yeah.
will say
Unseating
this
the
pushes
rye.
it up against that rye, that 4 grain that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Did you
You
try
think
the
about
4 grain,
this.
Rob? What'd you think?
I gotta tell you, man. When you have all these different whiskeys and they're all your children, basically,
That's right.
it's hard to pick a favorite children, but you
It's
always
true.
have a favorite.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's the way it works.
You always have a favorite. Anybody,
How do
every
you-
time
how do you-
anybody asks
how do you
me
pick your
which
favorite
one my
child?
favorite, what my favorite whiskey is, I'm like, it's like asking me what my favorite child is. I said, it depends on the day.
You know what? Last year we sat here with Rob Dietrich and Paul and myself and our CEO Vincent Hanna, and we tried sitting with Wes Henderson, the Blackened
That's
collaboration.
right. The
with
Black
these
and
guys.
Wes Henderson collab. That
it-
shit was so good.
It blew
Yeah.
our minds, and that was, it was the community where all of us can't wait to just taste the blends
Yeah.
that we're creating.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with monetary gain. It's about community, and you bring that, and we love you for it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
See, this is all about you guys. All right. Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, boys, you guys have put together some. This is unreal.
We're hustling,
Tess.
man. We're hustling.
You've come a
you
long
could have
way.
warned me that
I'll
you were
tell you
bringing me
that.
this. Like,
You guys have come a
What's
long
up?
way. It's really awesome.
she wouldn't tell me. She told me this morning. One of the people with their brand. She's an incredible. Let's look at her right here, Tess. Unbelievable. Let's give Tess a round of applause. She is
Right.
she's a legend in herself. She told me
Tess,
earlier
go crowd
today.
surfing. No.
She told me earlier today. She said, "We have a surprise for you." And I said, "Well, what is it?" And she said, "I'm not telling you."
They're very.
Okay.
There's a
Those
very.
lips sealed. All right.
There's an amazing influx of whiskey, of women in whiskey. And they are
Yeah.
freaking powerful. They are powerful.
Hey,
And so we celebrate you and we appreciate you.
so look, I got to do one thing, just because we're gonna run out of time here shortly. I could keep you boys up here all day long, but look.
As long as we keep
So,
drinking.
Every time you come here, I want to do something to make it special, because I always want you to come back and talk to all of Louisville, all of Kentucky about your product. So, hey, Austin, I had something very specially made for you all.
Look at this.
So
shit.
you keep coming to Louisville. We have a Louisville Slugger bat, and it's actually going to get mailed to you, so you don't have to worry about getting it on the plane.
Wait a
So,
minute.
a
Is this
Louisville Slugger bat.
if Ian and I getting in an argument?
Yes.
This is,
We're gonna
100%.
see who can
This
swing
is how
harder.
we sort it out,
You are
right?
going to crush him. Yes, that's right.
Look, man. Look at this beautiful bat. This is a Louisville Slugger bat
hell yeah.
with
Hey,
Ian
Paul.
Somerhalder,
Remember Louisville
Paul
Sluggers
Wesley.
back in the day?
Hey, Paul.
Yeah. What'd you say? Yeah.
Look,
Hey, let's pull the audience.
This is amazing,
Who
man.
thinks in this baseball Louisville Slugger fight, who's got Ian?
Really?
who's got Paul?
Who's got Paul?
Hey! Hey!
Wow, that's pretty split down the middle.
All right,
Yeah, all right.
yeah. Go hit each other.
And the final surprise, a
So,
fight
you
to
know-
the death.
Awesome.
They didn't know that. Hey, so what do you guys think about that? Like, to me, one of the most important things, not outside of bourbon in Kentucky, Louisville Slugger. It is a staple to
Oh, yeah.
Louisville. And when I was like, what can I do special for these guys this year? I said, I got to get them something that's Louisville, that's Kentucky. And to
Hell
me,
yeah.
Louisville Slugger was it.
Awesome.
With the Bourbon and Beyond logo. And then your names are going to be engraved right on it. And we're going to send them.
That's
I
fucking
hope that they're going to sit on your wall for forever.
This is what
It's going to be under my bed in case somebody breaks in.
That's right.
That's right. In case Ian breaks in.
this is what I'm
what's
gonna.
that?
This is what I'm gonna.
Hun.
What I'm gonna knock
He said
Paul
that
out
could
with.
get
and
a
he
favor.
doesn't-
Rob just
by
said,
the
don't
way-
you have a phaser?
when Paul doesn't agree with me on a blend,
Yeah, that's right.
nice.
You're wrong, Paul.
Phasers on stun, Paul. Just be
What do
careful.
you guys think about
At
that,
least
man?
I'll have the Bourbon and Beyond slogan on my forehead, right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Logo.
So, before we're getting towards the end, and I know I could sit up here with these guys
Yeah,
all
I mean, we could
day
talk
long.
for, yeah.
But we put together something fun.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to our podcast, every amazing guest that we come on, we like to have a little fun with them. So at the Firkin Podcast, you're going to be able to hear this. But we put together a little bit of a game of some type. We
That's
never
right.
know if this is going to work.
Let's hear it.
So we can-
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
But with these two guys, I knew that they were going to be game. So Brian,
Yes,
what
sir.
is our game for Mr. Ian Somerhalder and Mr. Paul Wesley?
Let's
All
hear
right. You guys did Vampire Diaries for a long time, and a lot of people out here loved that show.
Woo!
Just wanted to get your
Thank
take on
you,
a few
Louisville.
few questions here. Let's see. If the vampires in the Vampire Diaries had a favorite Brothers Bond bourbon cocktail, what would it be called and what would be in it?
A Blood Brothers.
That's right.
And it would be fresh lemon, tiny bit of. We make our own homemade simple syrup. I always go double the bourbon, half the syrup,
I like that plan.
and then a little bit of Paul's blood.
Oh,
It's sweet.
well, that's nice
it's like
of you
a
to
port
contribute
wine.
to
It
that.
is as sweet as Paul is.
It's
A little bit bitter.
I would take his
It's
blood
black. Yeah.
and I would
As
finish
black
it.
as his
I would,
heart.
I would finish it in port wine casks that I got from Wes Henderson. 'Cause that's the easiest way to get the
Name
barrels.
drop
There
again
you
here,
go.
Ian.
Look at him. Crushing it over here. All right. Paul, imagine Brothers Bond sponsoring a Mystic Falls talent show. Which character do you think would win with their unique talent, and what would that talent be?
I think it would be Ian because he would do the blue steel. You know what I mean? I mean,
Ian,
he did it for
can you
8
give,
years.
Yeah, give us a blue steel.
He didn't win an Oscar, but he got
Hun,
some
how
Two
about,
Choice Awards,
how about
you know?
both
Hey,
of you
guys.
guys give us a blue steel?
Yeah, how about that?
Everybody, hold on 1 second. You have to take a second to prep this. Hold on, you ready?
It's actually not actually the blue steel. It's called the sandstorm because it's like there's sand blowing in his eyes. That's how he looks all the time.
You ready for blue steel?
We're
You
ready,
ready?
aren't you?
for it.
Are you ready for blue
I'm
steel?
ready.
Give it to
I'm
him.
ready.
Let's watch all the audience pass out.
All right, everybody just shut up, okay? You ready?
Hey, here it is. Go, sold. The
Man.
ratings go up.
I felt stunned.
Stunned.
I tried. I can
Paul,
only
Season
turn left.
9 renewal.
Paul, can you give us a blue steel?
No. I'm just the.
I don't
you
do
know,
that blue
You're just
steel
Star
shit.
Trek.
I'm just
Yeah.
like chilling. You know what I mean?
You're just Captain Kirk. We're too cool
I'm
to
Captain
get blue
Kirkin,
steel.
all right?
That's right.
All right, Brian, what else we got, buddy?
All right. In an alternate universe, if the Brothers Bond Bourbon Distillery were located in Mystic Falls, what supernatural ingredient might they add to the bourbon to give it an extra kick? Give it to me, Ian.
Well, hopefully not vervain. Because that's the one thing that we
know what
can't
I-
drink.
You know what I would do, bro?
What would you do?
I would do a blood yeast.
All right.
Yeast with
Yeast.
blood.
All right.
Yeast of the
All
blood.
right.
Paul, do you have one?
Shit.
Follow that, bro. Follow that, bro.
Hey,
Follow that, bro.
How do I top blood yeast?
Hey, look here. Paul's
yeast
been drinking a
was
lot of
pretty
whiskey
good.
back there with me for a while.
Next question.
All right, tell me this, Paul. If a character from the Vampire Diaries had to market Brothers Bond Bourbon in a TV commercial, give me a tagline, and how would they convince viewers to try it?
Oh man, give me a tagline.
Anything, buddy. First off, anything Paul says, they're gonna buy it. We're good.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Give me a tagline.
First off, you just saying just maybe about 3 bottles.
Yeah, I think you could say anything to him.
What's a tagline, Ian? Hold on, I'm trying to think
Ian,
here.
what's
Come
a
on, Ian.
tagline?
Well, it's time.
He's phoning a friend.
Tagline?
Our tagline's time to bond. But
There
what's
you
the
go.
tagline if it was one of our characters? It'd be time to.
Time to eat.
Time. I got one. Wait, everybody. Shh.
Here he goes.
Oh,
You ready? Time to kill and distill.
Look at that.
that was good.
I like that.
That was
I like that.
And I will say,
Well, you know.
they had no idea these questions. That was off the cuff.
Damn, I'm impressed.
off this cuff right here.
Off the-
Roll it up, baby. Roll it up.
I wrote it on his arm
no.
before he came
You know what?
out.
I'll tell you this one thing. Going from being the star of a TV show is vastly different than going to be the star of the entrepreneur or the owner of a company.
Yeah.
You lose about 25% of your body mass
That's why
because
you
you
look so good.
just grind. Because it's your passion. You lose sight. It's like, it's like, guys, gals, when you're so in love, you just forget about everything. It's like reckless abandon. You forget about everything you're doing and you just go with this thing. And all your friends are like, yo, bro, something's wrong with you, man. I never see you in the gym. You're losing sight of what's really important. You know what I mean? It's like being in love. You lose sight of everything.
That was
That's
a good
whiskey.
answer. Now,
See?
we're towards the end. I want to do one more question just because all these people came out to see you. One more question. Brian, what is it?
You want one more?
Yeah, I want one more.
All right. How about if Brothers Bond were a character in the Vampire Diaries, who would be most compatible with for a spin-off romance?
A spin-off romance?
Yeah.
Yes.
If Brothers Bond were... Wait, say that again?
Yeah, who's going to make love to Brothers Bond
Who's
on
going
the
to make
show?
love to Brothers? You know what?
I think Damon would be well suited.
Actually,
Oh, okay, here we go.
if you look closely on the bottom, there's birds. Now,
Yes.
one would say maybe they're crows. And Ian, in the pilot, he was actually the crow.
Yeah.
And he would, and so I like to think that Ian's actually on this bottle flying above this tree. Because if you look closely, there's some crows right there.
Look at you.
And that's the crow.
See?
I will fly.
And that was a good character. And that's your best acting when you were the crow.
Best acting.
It's your only
I
good
will-
performance.
Really good. I will fly to a chimney near you.
Oh, look at this guy, huh? You can
And
count on him.
I will shit
In other words,
on your
keep your
roof.
chimney
Boys.
chutes closed.
Boys, to close it all out, one last question just from me.
All right.
If you were to sip whiskey as your character,
Wait, if you were to what?
if you were to sip with this
Okay,
Brothers Bond
okay,
whiskey
yeah.
as your character,
Yeah.
what are you going to say as your character?
It's got bite.
Yeah. It's got bite.
I love that.
Ian, if this is your whiskey as your character, what's your tasting note to finish it all off as your character from Vampire Diaries?
Beyond bite.
What?
It's
Did he
got,
take us all?
Wait, guys, you asked me a question.
Stole my line.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, that shows that
Hey,
Ian had
get the
was
bats
beyond-
out.
wait,
Let's go.
beyond-
All right,
that-
there
That's
you
the
go.
real Brothers Bond right there.
Beyond bite.
Hey, first
It's
off,
Thanks,
got.
guys.
Wait, whoa.
oh, sorry, Jesus.
Oh, he's still going.
You ready?
There you go.
Beyond bite. It's got blood
What?
and brotherhood
I thought it was gonna rhyme.
I'm glad you're saying what too.
I thought this was the start of your boy band.
Hey, you know how that cast strength doesn't taste like cast strength? It's not necessarily a good thing. You know what I mean? Because you just keep drinking it and you start blabbering on stage.
And it has a taste and a flavor profile that will blow your mind. And this is what we do. This is why we do what we do, to bring you together. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, everyone.
Ian, Paul, Rob.
Yeah,
I want to thank
Rob.
you for coming out and, first off, agreeing to do this crazy podcast that we came up with.
Yeah, man.
Come out to Louisville, Kentucky. Spend a little bit of time with me. I love each and every one of you. Like you have, you have enriched our lives. You've
Yeah, you
enriched
guys are
these
awesome.
amazing people's lives. I love you. Love you, man.
I love you.
So-
We love you guys.
Thank you guys so
Spent
much.
a
We
lot of
love you
bourbons
guys.
today.
Thank you for sticking around.
Let's thank Ian.
We appreciate you.
Get out there,
Thank
check out
you. Give
Duran
it up
Duran and
for
the Killers.
Paul Wesley.
Thank you,
Ryan,
guys.
Close
Thank
us
you.
out,
Thanks
buddy.
for
Let's
coming
go.
out.
Rob Dietrich,
Rob
thank you
Dietrich
so
with
much.
Black and Whiskey.
Thanks
Rob,
to Ian
Ryan,
and
close
Paul,
us
and
out.
thanks to Bourbon and Beyond for making this possible. We'll be here all weekend. Stop by tomorrow and check us out. Visit firkinpodcast.com for our follow links. But until next time, let's raise a glass to the stories behind the drinks. Cheers!
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bourbon and Beyond.